Back with the market and lots of stocks to talk about in terms of earnings, in terms of non-earning stocks also. Too many in focus on the back of their individual news flows. It could be QIPs, auto wins, too many stocks to watch out for. But let's start by decoding some earnings candidates yesterday. We have Neeraj Dewan, market expert, joining us, and Aditya Agarwala, head of research and investments at Invest for Edu, joining us on the technicals as well. Morning to both of you. Neeraj, give us a sense of your reading on Acme Solar, if that's a company that you're tracking, and the numbers over there, because while revenue and EBITDA are slightly weaker, there's been a very big beat coming in on the PAT front. Your sense on this stock or the overall energy space?
Yeah, good morning. Specifically, I don't track Acme Solar, but energy space is one space where I'm very positive on. If you see the last 1 year also, there've been a lot of capex and which has been going on. So, if you look at, stocks in green energy, hydrogen, something like Adani Green, JSW Energy, the kind of target that they have for, adding to their, power and plus even power storage, this is a space where they are spending a lot of money on. So next, I think 2 to 3 years, you see that outcome of what has been the total, outflow that had been happening as far as capital expenditure is concerned. So I'm positive on the space as a whole.
Neeraj, if you can also give us an indication of some of the earnings that came out yesterday. You have Bharti, you had Tata Consumer and Titan, 3 key numbers which came out yesterday.
Yeah, see, first Titan came out with a brilliant set of numbers. I think some part of it was also because of Diwali coming early this year. I think till now also, whatever data has been coming, the sales have been strong even post that. So I think that the numbers are very good, and there's a possibility that, with the kind of news flow that is coming as far as sales is concerned, it should continue this quarter also. And second, Bajaj, the next, which are the other 2 numbers? Bharti, yeah. Bharti definitely, again, was a brilliant set of numbers. I think Bharti, the kind of number they've been seeing on Bharti quarter on quarter and year on year has been tremendous. And I think that performance should continue as far as Bharti is concerned. You see the monthly data also coming out. So, though they've been so much talk about a third player coming in, Idea has not been able to add to the number. They've always been losing their customers. So Bharti has been, Jio has been adding, and Bharti has been on the top in front line, adding to a lot of subscribers there. And plus, the ARPUs have also gone up recently. So that is also adding a lot to the numbers. So I think Bharti really stood out as far as numbers are concerned. Tata Consumer, I think I was not too impressed with the numbers right now. I think though there is some pickup definitely happening there, but I think I was expecting little better margins from there, what they had declared. So I think Tata Consumer, I'll have to watch and see whether the numbers pick up month on month now, because that this November, December is also very strong, expected to be a very strong consumer focused company.
Neeraj, I guess the big litmus test today is going to be from SBI. Good numbers. What can one expect?
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of expectation from PSU banks, with the smaller ones also coming out with decent set of numbers. So what will be important to watch is, with the interest rates cut happening, liquidity in the system, whether they've been able to get that kind of, demand for loan, whether the loan growth will be there or not. That is something that will be very closely watched. So if there is, then the kind of, target that they give for the second half, because normally after the first half number, they give you some indication of what the full year is going to be looking like. So that will be very important to watch as far as State Bank is concerned. I think because it is coming out after rally in the PSU bank, so there's a very little chance of a miss there. There's a slight miss that, Street may not like it too much, because PSU bank have been doing well, and SBI definitely the bellwether there. So I think that will be one has to be very closely watching what they say for the second half of the year also.
Interesting. Okay, that's the day coming in on SBI, and what's the expectation there? Yesterday, of course, the big mover turned out to be Shriram Finance. Kunal, a big breakout. You typically don't have a Shriram move The way it moved yesterday, almost 6% of a notch up on the futures. What's the chart pattern indicating now? Could it play catch up with, say, a Bajaj Finance?
I think it's doing its in its own space very well, Aisha, because for the last 6 weeks the stock has gained consecutively, and I think in the last 6 weeks it's moved from 600 to now almost closer to 800ish mark where it's closed yesterday. But it seems like that the stock is overbought at current levels. There was a 4% reduction in net open interest yesterday, which means a clear case of a profit booking which start to seep in. The indicators, the RSIs on the daily, weekly charts are now getting into that 80-85 plus kind of a territory. That tells you that the indicators are into an overbought territory. So I think at current levels, we are looking at a point where the stock has done reasonably well. The results are out. The stock has reacted positively post that. But with the reduction in open interest and the indicators overbought, I believe it's a good time to take out some profits over here and wait for the stock to retrace or just about go into that natural cool-off or a mean reversion. So if it retraces back towards 740, 750 mark, that could be a good point where traders could look at a fresh buy.
Aditya, hi, morning. A truncated week, and you've got, both the Nifty as well as the Sensex expiry as well, flanking the market holiday. Do you think we'll continue to be range-bound?
Morning, Aisha. Thanks for the show. Absolutely. My sense is we're still to digest this up move that we witnessed just pre-Diwali rally. And there could be some more time consolidation, price level correction we already had. I don't see too much of a price correction from these levels. 25,600, 25,700 are good support levels for the Nifty. My sense is slowly and gradually we will inch closer to 26,100, 200, and eventually we'll break out of that range and head into an all-time high territory. Like you've been flagging out, SBI is the big boy coming out with its numbers. If they don't disappoint in their numbers, that can actually trigger a rally in the bank Nifty. And we usually see if SBI comes out with a decent set of numbers, that triggers a rally in the entire PSU basket. If that happens, then 59,000 is something that I'm eyeing on the bank Nifty. If that happens, surely Nifty will also inch closer to 26, 100, 200. So overall, I think the consolidation continues this week as well. Maybe next week you can see a breakout eventually on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty both.
Okay, so that's the take on Nifty, Bank Nifty, on the resistance and the supports on the technical levels. Neeraj, I don't know if you tracked V2 retail particularly, but the value retail space, so much exuberance there recently. V2 retail has also closed their QIP. They've raised 400 crores via that. Your take on the entire value retail space and the kind of run-up we've already seen, do you believe there is more to come?
Yeah, definitely. I believe there is more to come as far as the value retail is concerned. I think that this October, November, December quarter also should be significantly good for most of the retailers, both even textiles and fashion retailers. So I think the performance, though one has to really look at the valuations, which stock you want to keep and which stock you want to add at these, after the rally which has recently happened. But as a space, the space didn't perform for the last couple of years, or maybe 1.5 years, and now they've again started performing, and that is on the back of real good fundamental data which is coming, the kind of sales, GST benefits, so all that, income tax reduction, so all that is going to augur well for the space, and the performance should continue.
Okay, so that's on V2 retail. Kunal, one of the top losers yesterday was Maruti Suzuki because the
prices coming in, the Ambujas, ACCs, Ultratech of the world.
Yeah, actually, the cement companies had also rallied after the GST cuts were announced. So, post that, we're seeing a subdued performance from them. Some of them were corrected also. But I think this is definitely an opportunity as far as cement is concerned, because I'm expecting the second half to be very strong as far as demand is concerned. So, some softness that you're seeing in the prices now, I think as you see the demand going up, then also the prices should firm up and demand will be very good as far as, you've seen most of the capex being announced. They've been so much, besides capital expenditure, there's so much of the order flow which has come to most of the infrastructure companies. So all these will have a good demand, and plus some of the GST cuts benefits should also start coming in for the cement companies. So demand should be strong, and I think this correction should be an opportunity to accumulate these stocks.
So that's on cement. Aditya, rank some of these jewelry stocks or gold jewelry sellers, someone like a Titan versus a Senco, Kalyan, and yesterday the numbers from Thangmail, that stock was up 20% in upper circuit after swinging back to profitability. Do you believe that the next round of gains in the jewelry segment could be led by these smaller players, or do you believe Titan or Kalyan could continue to gain more share? It is on the charts if what is your reading? Yeah.
Morning, Snehi. So let's talk about Titan first. It's waiting for that big breakout. 2024 onward, stock hasn't done anything for itself. It's just been a consolidation. My sense is stock will now eventually break out of that consolidation zone of 38.20, 38.30 on the upside and test levels of 4,000 plus. So Titan definitely is on the buy recommendation. As a disclosure, this is one stock that we've recommended to our clients as well, could be in their portfolios. And we believe that if anything, stock will test a new all-time high. Now, talking of pure play jewelry stocks, Thangamile, yes, after yesterday's sharp 20% surge, entered into an all-time high territory. And my sense is stock will continue to rise from here on as well. Very strong looking chart set up. 3,200 on the upside is what we are playing for a 6-month kind of a target. And on the downside, 2430, 2,500 is a good support area. So as far as pure play jewelry stocks are concerned, I think smaller ones will now do a catch-up play as compared to your Kalyan Jewelers and all. It's more of a consolidation going on there. But yes, Kalyan too can test levels of 600. But from an outperformance point of view, I think the smaller ones will make the cut now.
Look at some of the mid-cap earnings, and I was just looking at a Hitachi Energy. Look at the margin expansion, over 16% versus a comparable of 7%. On a year-on-year basis, the top line has grown about almost 18%. This, of course, has been one solid mover. A TBO Tech, Orient Pro, all excellent numbers that have come by. Godfrey Phillips, a significant margin expansion is what they've seen. Margins currently at 19.3%. EBITDA has jumped up almost 13.5%. There is Acme Solar, like Snehi was just flagging off, or a Timken for that matter, wherein the EBITDA has jumped up almost about 28% or so. Other than that, of course, there are those mainboard earnings, which one, of course, is, tracking, be it a Titan, be it a Bharti, or for that matter, the news flow on both Cipla as well as on Indus Towers. Neeraj, how is it that you are now mapping the entire telecom structure? Vodafone Idea, things beginning to look up there. Bharti, of course, has been a very, very solid hand. Geo listings still awaited. And other than that, of course, there are plays like Indus Tower or even Bharti Hexacom, which has reported very good numbers.
So as far as pure play telecom is concerned, whether it's Bharti Hexacom or even Jio, I'm very positive on this space. I'm not seeing too much happening from Vodafone. We've seen too many instances there where there have been hopes, but there have always been disappointment there. So till they start adding subscribers, and stop losing subscribers, I don't think there's a case to look at Vodafone Idea right now, but I'm positive on Jio. So basically looking at the, pending Jio listing, I think Reliance can also be looked at. So I think Reliance, one, definitely because of Jio Telecom, plus even the retail has been doing well for them. So barring Telecom, that space should also do well for Reliance. So Reliance is one which can be looked at because of the telecom space. And Bharti Hexacom, I continue to be positive on. Again, Indus Towers, we've been very positive on the stock earlier, but not see that kind of a return coming in this stock. So right now I'm neutral on Indus Tower, but pure play telecom companies I'm positive on.
Midcap 150 index has been underperforming the Nifty. What's your take on that?
Yeah, but I look at the Nifty Midcap 50 index. That's a more plausible because it's concentrated towards the best 50 midcap names. That index, I think, last week, if I'm not wrong, made a fresh 52-week highs as well as lifetime high. There is a good amount of recovery in the midcap names in this leg of the market trend, which was not seen in the previous leg. So, for example, the month of April, May, June, when the markets were going to a recovery phase, that was the time when the midcaps and small caps underperformed. In the leg of correction which followed the month of August and September, mid-cap index, I think they were very close towards breaking their 200 moving averages at a point where the Nifty and the broader indices, they also went into a corrective phase. But then in this leg of recovery is where you've seen the underperformance from the Nifty Midcap Index largely in the past 5-6 months. That's played a very good catch-up. Nifty is not yet broken past over the life high levels, but the Nifty Midcap Index 50 has already done it. So there is a good amount of recovery which is there. Many of the stocks are trying to come back above their long-term moving averages. So there are two metrics to look out for. One is that the midcap index which you look out for, and the second is the breadth of the market. How many number of stocks are above, below their 20, 50, 100, 200 moving averages. That number has changed dramatically on the upside for the better of the overall market. In the month of September, October, there was a point where more than 60%, 65% of the stocks were below their 20, 50 moving averages. That number has dropped down to 20 to 25% broadly so far. So that tells you that 70, 75% of the markets have gone through a recovery in the mid-cap 50 index, which is very positive because you're not concentrated towards few stocks which are doing very well, but it's the overall market breadth which is improved.
Right, okay, that's the take on, what the broader universe of the market is actually up to. But Neeraj, what is your own sense? You think from now on the market is more about individual stock-specific plays? Does it even make sense to make the market cap categorization?
Yeah, I think it makes sense in the sense because, you've seen a broader market not performing with the way the frontline indices have performed. You've seen a good rally. We're almost at, very close to 50-week highs as far as the, frontline indices are concerned. So I think now it's more about specific stocks because this, normally what we were seeing earlier was that the second part of the earnings were not that great. You started somewhat okay, and then, slowly the numbers were not coming to be that great. But this time, we started with a bang. The numbers have been pretty good as far as some of the large caps are concerned. And I feel that if there is some continuation to that from the mid cap and the small cap space, that is where I think you've seen good corrections happening. If you see, compare from last September, stocks are down 50, 60, 70% from the highs. So if there is some improvement which is happening in the numbers there, I think that broader market should also start performing. So I feel now to the end of the year, I think that is one space where you can see a lot of traction.
Neeraj, what about some of the earnings which are coming in today? Interglobe, do you think how do you look at that stock from an aviation play?
Interglobe, we have all been positive on. Even I am positive on the kind of market share that they're sitting on. And, the crude prices has also been low. Last quarter, demand has been good. Like the numbers have been good. The only thing has been the selling which keeps on coming their way, off and on from the promoter group. So that is one which is, gets them back a bit and then again, you see. So I think one has to use opportunities there. It's become more like a trading play now where, you see opportunities, you see dips happening because of promoter sales or whatever news flow which comes. And, those dips should be used to accumulate the stock and then you ride the rally and, it's become more like a trading stock for me.
That's the take on Interglobe Aviation right now. Though, Aditya, what's your reading on the charts for Interglobe?
I think it's more of a consolidation that I see now because after this up move, stock has entered into maybe kind of a distribution, I can say, minor distribution phase where stock can actually test levels of sub 5,500. So 5,300 is something where I'll be comfortable in going long on the stock. On the downside, immediate supports are somewhere between 5,500 and 5,400 on the downside. So overall, I would not be too much in a hurry to latch onto the stock, wait for the results and see the result reaction on price, and then maybe look at closer to about 5,300.
Okay. In fact, since we're on the subject of Interglobe, let me take it across to Srishti and find out what the ET Now poll is penciling in for the earnings this time.
All right, so when it comes to Interglobe Aviation numbers, all eyes will be on the bottom line because this time around, though we are expecting a dip, and 152 crores is what the company is expected to report on the bottom line in terms of the profit. Because do remember, the average fare is expected to fall by almost 2% on a sequential basis on a 1-month forward bookings. The lower fuel cost, but a 12% growth in the passengers segment is expected to show and help the overall revenues of the company. The expected PLF is expected
expected at 84% compared to 82.7% in Q2 of FY25. Now, in terms of the numbers, the revenue is expected at 18,362 crores. That could be a jump of 8% on a YY basis. The EBITDA is expected at 2,595 crores. And onto the margin front, 14.1% is something that we are expecting. And lastly, on the profit figure, like we told you, 152 crores on the bottom line is something that the street is penciling for. But in terms of the management commentary, how are they focusing on the international expansion with the addition of the new networks and the code sharing agreement? What's the latest on that is something that we will be watching out for.
Kunal, mid-cap ideas for today for you from your end?
Yeah, so from the mid-cap end, I look at one of the other stocks which I had highlighted earlier, and something which on the short-term basis has been looking very attractive. We've flagged off names like BSE, etc., which have been doing pretty well. But I think from the financial services space, L&T Finance is something which looks exceptionally strong. If I'm not wrong, on a YTD basis, it's almost up 97 or 98%. The stock climbed up the levels of 270 plus also yesterday. Looks very attractive. Would look out for 292 as a more of a positional play, or maybe as a swing target for L&T Finance, and stop loss could be kept at 272.
Right. Aditya, what about your mid-cap strategies?
Couple of them, Aisha. The first one is Angel One looks very strong on the chart set. The entire capital market space is doing well. So for a target of 2,700 and a stop loss of 2,500, the first recommendation is Angel One. The second one is Alchem Laboratories. This also stock has eventually broken out in trade yesterday on good volumes from a consolidation phase. So my sense is the up move is likely to continue here as well. So for a target of 5,800, I'll be a buy here with the stop loss at 5,450 on the downside.
Okay, Neeraj, we'll let you go on that note. Thanks as always for your time. Good speaking with you as always. The pre-open rates then, and it's a very, very somber mood across what the Nifty and the sensex rates are indicating. But let's see what the reaction on earnings is. We'll give them some time to stabilize and then perhaps check in on that. But let's tell you what else has been making headlines. And the US became the first